Good day, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. I think one of the most questions that I'm now asking myself, all the things that have been occurring with this government, what is Project 2025? I've covered this before, but in comparison with Agenda 47 that President Trump stated that he's on, because Project 2025 is a Heritage Foundation 1,000 plus page blueprint for the next Republican administration. It's called the Mandate for Leadership, and it lays out a plan to do all sorts of things. We're going to cover it right here. And I want you guys to see what I'm referring to, because if you want to know some of my referencing material, this is Project 2025, the Mandate for Leadership. And I read majority of this document. Again, it's 1,000 plus pages. I've also looked at every video on President Trump's Agenda 47. Now, within this particular document that we're referencing here, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things I would like to comb out, because believe it or not, that this plan is to dismantle federal agencies like the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, the Department of Commerce, purge the civil service and replace it with political loyalists. And we're seeing this even in the government crackdown, as President Trump stated that the Democrats is giving me unprecedented power because now he's cleaning house. We've already seen the dismantle of the Department of Education. He also was talking about expand presidential power. We've seen that with the likes of the Supreme Court in cahoots with President Trump and basically allowing him to do pretty much everything. Not absolutely everything, because Lisa Cook would have been fired if he could do everything. But the majority of the things Supreme Court has allowed him to do. And this is far beyond what the Constitution ever envisioned. So I want to know that a lot of people are for fascism, they're for a dictatorship that is anti-constitutional, are the people in the Republican Party, as well as what people would like to label the MAGA crowd, the MAGA group, or MAGA. Are they for fascism? Are they for things that are anti-constitutional? Because this is also to impose strict immigration crackdowns, including mass deportation. Now, again, a lot of Americans were on board with that, but that was part of the Heritage Foundation Project 2025 as well. Restrict reproductive rights, LGBTQ rights, and roll back civil rights protections. In some regards, that's already been occurring even in the first year of President Trump's presidency. Now, the Heritage Vision is not just a policy book. It's an authoritarian playbook consolidating power into the executive branch. Now, the other piece of this is how we compare this to Trump's own Agenda 4047. I combed through every single video. I looked at every single video. Now, this is by the way I picture President Trump doing, and not having just a long, lengthy format. But this is the way I envision him doing this. So you can just pretty much listen to what he's talking about, because he's always on TV. He's always talking. So I understand that. And then I want you guys to look at the Project 2025 tracker. Isn't this astounding? Here's a tracker of Project 2025, a comprehensive community-driven initiative to track the implementation of Project 2025 policy proposals. Overall progress is 48%. We're going to round up. Project 2025 is almost halfway complete at 50%. I mean, halfway done at 50%. They're almost done completing Project 2025 right before our eyes. Then, as I gave you a very brief breakdown on Project 2025, we have to look at Agenda 47, which is President Trump's brainchild. Okay, and you guys can reference this on his website as well, because Agenda 47 is President Trump's campaign branded set of promises if he returns to the White House, which he has done. So some of the things that were in Agenda 47 was mass deportations and building more detention camps. That's already taken place. Taking down the deep state, removing career officials who resist him. He's doing that. He's imposing harm and conflicting and firing anyone who opposed President Trump, like the former FBI chief. What's his name? Comey? Forgot his first name. Comey? I know his last name is Comey. Reimposing travel bans, particularly targeting Muslim majority nations. He's already doing that. He's already done that. Rewriting trade deals, expanding tariffs and economic nationalism. He's already doing that. hardlining stance on crime, policies, and ending woke culture in schools. Well, they've already been on the tangent about what woke is, what woke isn't. Basically, anything that's liberal, anything that's LGBTQ, anything that has to deal with race and or gender. They're already imposing that. Agenda 47 is actually written or videoed in Trump's language. Fury, populist, built for rallies. That's what this is about. And my question is to you is, where is that overlap? If you look closely and you'll see Agenda 47 and Project 2025 are not separate lanes. They are parallel highways heading to the same destination. When it comes to immigration, both propose that the largest deportation effort in U.S. history. When it pertains to education, both want to dismantle or defund the Department of Education and push hardline patriarch curriculums, which they're already doing. Federal workforce, both call for purges of career officials, replacing them with political loyalists, which they are currently doing. Presidential power, both advocate for expanding the authority of the executive branch over Congress and the courts, which they are already doing. This is, in some regards, a plan to keep Republicans in place inside the presidency by extending the president's power. Project 2025 is institutionally and is very, very detailed. It's a Heritage Foundation document citing departments, budgets, and bureaucratic structures. Agenda 47 is populist branding. It's Trump's sales pitch to voters, hitting emotional notes like save America and take down the deep states. So in other words, Project 2025 is the script and Agenda 47 is the trailer. That is what we're seeing right here before our very eyes. And the question that I've had, and some of you may even have, is Trump executing both of these? And I would like to tell you that the evidence suggests yes, because prior to all this coming out, I stated that Agenda 47 and Project 2025 is different. There are some key similarities. I stated this, you go back any of my videos regarding to these two. But now that we see they are aligning more so than ever, that he's actually implementing both of them. Because Trump's speeches echo Project 2025 framework, even when it doesn't name it. His campaign staff includes people tied to Heritage and Project 2025 drifters. Policies like mass deportations, again, not stating that that's wrong at all, but the way they're going about it is wrong. Just apprehending anybody who they believe to be an illegal immigrant. They have education rollback as well as dismantling this, the federal Department of Education and loyalty tests for federal workers appear in both documents. When Elon Musk was head of Deutsche, he wanted these loyalists to state who and from are going against some of Trump's policies. Now, if you guys are familiar with some things in history as it pertains to times like this, history has warned us. If you guys recall in the 1930s, regimes in Europe merged party manifestos with think tank blueprints to centralize power. Now, here in the US, as we look at FDR's New Deal, they use think tanks to report and to reorganize the government, but for the expansion of rights, not contraction. They use it to expand our rights, not to contract our rights. But it seems as though he's carrying out the Heritage Foundation, which is a think tank, as well as his own Agenda 47. And the risk here is that Trump plus Heritage equals a government reshape, not for democracy, but for control. So Project 2025 is the manual and Agenda 47 is the megaphone. And together they form a very dangerous partnership, a vision where America becomes less democratic, more authoritarian, and far more divided. The question is not whether Trump is executing both. The real question is, how far will he go and how fast will America let him? Thank God it's Friday.